basically the way she plays her game has got some Steph Curry. I think, though, in terms of an iconic player, she's more Michael Jordan. So Jordan walked into the NBA. He was a rookie sensation. Year 2, he got hurt. Year 3, he was like the best player in the league, arguably. And he then needed his Pippen, got it in year 4. So Caitlin comes into the league, rookie sensation. Year 2, last year she's hurt. Year 3, okay, her stats are great again. When is she going to start winning at the next level? She has not won a playoff series yet. And so my take is she has her Pippen. Kelsey Mitchell was a player that got some MVP votes. And this is not like hating on Caitlin Clark, but the stage of, wow, who's the new kid? I'm done with that. That was awesome. That was Taylor Swift's self-titled album. Oh my God, who's that? And then it was Fearless, which crushed her self-titled album. I need Fearless. This is great. I've seen the stats. She shoots from a long way away from the basket. That is awesome. But there are stages to greatness. And I've always felt her game is Steph. I think she has a chance to be Jordan-esque, which is multiple championships if she can get the right coach and the right running mate. And I think she has that player. But she in fact, has she won a playoff game? I don't think. No, she hasn't even won a playoff game. Forget a series. Now, again, first year, bad team. Last year, they built it around her. She was hurt. A little bit better team. This team should vie for the championship. If she is what I think she is. If not, get very, very close. They should get very, very close.
All right. There's a lot to untangle right now. Because this situation is all over the place. Caitlin Clark is Michael Jordan and then some. The lack of playoff success and so on. We are not putting this on Caitlin Clark. We're going to break it down. Before I do, please don't forget to subscribe and watch the entire video. When you all do that, views skyrocket, subscribers skyrocket. It's not about chasing numbers. Obviously, I want as many views and subscribers as I can get, but it's about creating Indiana Fever content that people genuinely want to watch and talk about. So we can keep having the best, most impartial, level-headed, authentic conversations. It makes a huge difference. So please consider doing that because boy, do we have a lot to unpack right now. First off, her lack of a championship so far or lack of postseason success has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. Saying she even has her Pippen and Kelsey Mitchell is overinflating how this team is built and how these games play out. Okay? First of all, as a rookie, Caitlin Clark took the league by storm. Obviously. Then in year 2, she got hurt. I think she played around 14 games or something ridiculously low. I didn't even realize, and I make the videos. I didn't even notice. I thought, oh, wow, that's all she played? I must have just completely checked out the moment she got injured. And now we have year 3, and the team is completely disorganized. The team can't play defense. The players around her are awful at setting up plays. I'm up to 35 missed assists. Caitlin Clark could have that many additional assists on top of her already impressive number, which I think is 57 or something like that. I believe that's what it is, 57, 47, somewhere in that range. And so it's like part of Caitlin Clark's brilliance is her passing, and she needs her Scottie Pippen to make some shots. Let her, just maybe some easy layups. Maybe just hold on to the ball, don't lose it, and have it go out of bounds. I think that would help, yeah. I think that would help. There's nothing to place on Caitlin's shoulders right now. Truly. She is legitimately doing everything. And again, she already set the record for most 20-point, 10-assist games. That will essentially be her average. Her baseline will be 20 and 10. Again, as long as the team around her can actually convert shots, she should have more than 10 assists per game. Any game she doesn't is simply because they're missing the shots. Or again, missing layups. And in terms of the scoring, listen, she's obviously going to have plenty of games under 20, you know that because that's just basketball, right? You're going to have ups and downs. But pretty much her average, as long as she's not having an exceptionally cold night, she'll put up 20. That's simply who Caitlin Clark is. So Colin kind of saying, alright, I've seen the greatness, I've seen the excitement. Now it's time for you to win. And it's like, well, that's a little harder now, right? This isn't football where you say, okay, free agency, we'll get a running back. We'll draft a left tackle. We'll trade for another wide receiver. Jalen Waddle, first round, okay, we'll get him. That's not how this works right now. Oh, we're just a quarterback away. Oh, we just need a new hotshot offensive coordinator. That's not how this works. There's a lot of bad basketball you have to wade through. There's a lot of bad players you have to wade through. I'm sorry to say the quiet part out loud, but it's true. There's just a lot of bad that you have to find your way through. A lot of bad. And Colin has always criticized Russell Westbrook. Always criticized him. Always emphasized how yes, he's a great athlete, he's extremely fast, he can hit shots, he can do this, but he's difficult to win with. And he even said Russ got the MVP and shouldn't have, etc., etc. But you understood why. I remember those takes very vividly. And in many ways, it shaped my view of Kelsey Mitchell and comparing her to Russell Westbrook. That's how I know he's not fully locked in right now, because he would be saying the same thing. He would be saying the exact same thing. Because there are times Kelsey Mitchell literally takes the ball out of, look, there are many women on the court taking the ball out of Caitlin's hands. And I've shown you the highlights of why that's so damaging. Because she is the elite face-eye. Lidator. She is the one who makes that offense run. Even if other people are hitting shots, she is the operator. She is the navigator. That is what she does at the highest level. It's not the logo threes. It's not the scoring. It's not the intensity. It's not hitting that shot and yelling at the crowd. I love all that. But her true ultimate superpower is facilitating, and she does it at the most insane level. On the floor, I've already counted this. She's technically averaging around 18 or so assists per game. Now, they don't get completed, but that's because I'm actually counting the missed assists. So at the bare minimum, she's essentially responsible for around 50% of the production. 50% of the possible production, more than that. They scored 89 points right there, okay? And they actually gave us a stat showing she was more than half of it. But if you look at it, she's averaging 18 assists. Minimum around 36 points. Plus her 20. That's 56 points. So there's only so much she can possibly do. The rest falls on the players around her. You said, oh, Michael Jordan had Pippen. No, he had a lot of other players as well. First of all, he had Phil Jackson. That matters. How many rings did Kobe win without Phil Jackson? Exactly. As well as needing Dennis Rodman, Kukoc, Kerr. You need some real players, and they all need to understand how to play. That's what made the Warriors so special. This is why I say this in nearly every single Caitlin Clark video, go watch, I'm sure they're probably still there, the extended highlights, or actually try to watch an entire game of the Warriors in their prime, 2017, 2018, 2016, whatever year you want. And you can see how that whole offense operates around Steph Curry. It's not just Steph hitting logo threes and all that. You can see how everything fits together. Everything fits together. And there's too much disconnection. There's too much freestyle basketball on this Indiana Fever team. Way too much. Occasionally, and this is already slowly going away, they did it great at the beginning of the season. But the hockey pass, making the extra pass. They're still doing it now, certainly more than they did in the last couple of years. But you still see that it's a little bit, that's why I always point out the times when someone gets a rebound and doesn't pass it to Caitlin Clark. That's why I really highlighted, I'll do it now. That one play where I forget who brought it up, and it was a terrible play. And it doesn't seem like anything because you just think, oh, they got the rebound and now they're going down the court, but no, this is an epic failure. Because you're not setting up your offense for success, and you pass the ball in a way where 1, it could have been a turnover, and 2, you set your teammate up for a 1-on-2. Caitlin gets the ball and she sets up a wide-open layup or a 2-on-1. Literally the opposite. So even little things like that, if you can't even grab the low-hanging fruit and figure that out. That's a fundamental problem, and you can't put that on Caitlin Clark's shoulders. That's absurd. That's absurd. And I've got news for you. I love Taylor Swift. She's amazing. I liked her before she became a mega popular. I don't even know what she is because she's literally become a goddess, but I listened to all her music with my niece while we used to have little dance parties when she was little back when that was a cool thing to do. And you know, love it. A lot of people are part of the Taylor Swift experience. If you think it was just her and her guitar and a notebook, and she was just making all the music, and she became a superstar, no. No. There are other songwriters, producers, executives. It's a whole machine. Patrick Mahomes doesn't win Super Bowls alone. Peyton Manning doesn't win Super Bowls alone. Right? There is no self-made in that regard. Again, absolutely positively love Taylor Swift, not knocking her. There are probably at least 10 people who helped her become who she is, because that's how the world works. Colin knows that too. He talks about it all the time. It's not just you that you need, he always says you need a kingmaker, etc., etc. That's why he always says if you're talented and you keep putting in the work, eventually you'll find the people around you who can help you achieve greatness. And that's where Caitlin Clark is right now. She needs the support. She needs other people around her. So even the examples we used, Michael Jordan, Taylor Swift, believe me, it was a lot more than just Scottie Pippen. A lot more than just Scottie Pippen. A lot more than just Steph. A lot more than just LeBron. A lot more. And it's not just Taylor Swift and an acoustic guitar strumming along, and that's it. That's not how she became an absolute, she became a cultural revolution. A lot more than just that. Okay? Let's be very, very, very clear. Heck, she became a pop star when originally she was essentially a country singer. I guarantee you it wasn't her idea to go more pop. I guarantee you she was nudged and encouraged and told, you know what? Let's expand a little bit and do more pop-type music. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. But like anything, we look at the legends of people who have achieved greatness, and we just say, it was all Michael. It was all Taylor. It was all LeBron. It was all Steph. It was all Mahomes. And it's like, no. There's a lot. Andy Reid needed to change how Mahomes played. LeBron needed to learn how to actually be part of a winning team with Dwayne Wade. Michael Jordan had to change his style of play with Phil Jackson, as did Kobe Bryant. Taylor Swift had to transition and change her style of music, her approach. You need the people around you. You need the people around you. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about, I'm going to say about Taylor Swift and the Indiana Fever? How do you feel? How do you think Taylor Swift would be at hitting logo th? Reese? That'd be pretty cool. But what do you all think about Caitlin Clark? How do you feel about the conversation around her, about what Colin is saying? She's got to win. She's got to win. Enough of the greatness. Enough of her establishing greatness and breaking record after record and being on pace to essentially break every single WNBA record ever. She's got to win rings by year 3. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some arguments, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.